All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started with the Unit 4 test review. This is Part B. Okay, so they want us to write an equation in slope-intercept form, which we know is our y equals mx plus b. By the way, we will give you a copy of our formulas on the test tomorrow. Here's a snip of your ninth grade STAR formula sheet. So yeah, you do not have to memorize these formulas, but if you can, that's awesome. So I know that M stands for my slope and B stands for my y-intercept. So those two pieces of information are needed to write an equation. So I'm going to start with the y-intercept. So y-intercept is where it crosses at the y-axis, which is there. Okay, and I see that I'm crossing at -4, so I'm going to go ahead and put B equals -4. Okay, then my slope, I'm going to pick another point because I need 2 points to find my slope. And we know slope is rise over run. Or you can also have your change in y over your change in x. So I'm going to count how many I'm going up and over. So I'm going up 1 and over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so my slope is going to be 1 over 5. So once I have those two pieces of information, I'm just going to plug it in right into the formula. And my equation is going to be y equals 1/5 x minus 4. Okay, one thing you can do if you have Desmos or either a TI Inspire calculator, you can always check your answer just to make sure that you got it right. Okay, so as you see, this is our test version of the Desmos app. So I just press enter, and as I can see, this is the same exact graph that they gave me on the paper. So I know I'm right. All right. So here we have inequalities, and they want to know which points are solutions. We know that solutions are in the shaded area. Also, we know because we have a dotted line and we have a solid line. So they also will work if it falls on the solid line. Okay, if it falls on a dotted line, we can't include that in our solution set. So I'm just gonna draw these points in. So I have 3, 0. So see, that falls right on the line, but that line is solid. So I'm gonna put that as our solution, or as one of our solutions. Okay, let's plot 1, 6. So 1, 6, that's in the shaded area. So let's circle that one. We have -4 and 2. So that's not in the shaded area. So I'm going to go ahead and cross that out because it's not a solution. And then we have 3, 5. So that's in the shaded area. So I'm good to go. So we have 3 points here that are solutions and 1 that's not. So now I'm going to write out my inequality. So when I write an inequality, I just need my slope and my y-intercept. Okay, so again, y-intercept is where it crosses on the y-axis. So we're still, even though we have an inequality, we're still looking at our boundary line to see where it's crossing the y-axis, which is 4. So I'm going to go ahead and put that my b equals 4. Then let's go ahead and pick 2 points. So we already have those. And we're going to count our change in y over our change in x. So I'm going down 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's -4. And I'm going over 1, 2, 3. So that's -4 over 3 for my slope. So I'm ready to write my inequality. So it's going to be a little different because we're not writing the equation. So we have to look at where it's shaded. And we have to look at the type of line that we have. So we know we have the shading above the line and we have a solid line. So the sign that goes with that is greater than or equal to. Then I just plug it into my mx plus b. So my m is -4 over 3x and my b is 4, so I have plus 4. And my inequality for this graph will be y is greater than or equal to -4 over 3x plus 4. All right. 3b. So it says which equations, so that means the answer can be more than one, have a slope of 1/4. So m equals 1/4. And we're going to circle all that apply. Okay. So if we look carefully at these equations, we know that they're all in different forms. If you look at your formula sheet, you should notice that all of these forms are on here. You got standard form, slope-intercept form, point-slope form. So I know this first one is in slope-intercept form. So it may be a good idea to write those on the side so that can help you out with the problem. This second one is in standard form. So I'm going to write AX plus BY equals C on the side. Then this one here is point-slope form. So I'm going to write that out on the side as well. Okay, so one thing that we know about these forms is two of them give us something, right? We know that slope-intercept form gives us the slope and then also the y-intercept. We know point-slope form gives us a slope and it gives us a point. Okay, standard form is the only one that gives us nothing. So for that one, we have to solve for y to see what the slope is. So this one, for one, that's pretty straightforward because we see the slope there is 1/4 and we see the slope here is 4. Okay, we're looking for a slope of 1/4, so option 3 is gone. So we're going to go ahead and cross that out. So now I need to work with option 2. So I'm just going to write that out on the side. And I'm going to go ahead and solve for y because my goal is to get this into slope-intercept form. So then I can identify my slope and my y-intercept, which I just need my slope for this problem. So you may need to draw that line if you need to. I'm going to subtract x from both sides. It's going to cancel out here. Then I'm going to bring down -4y equals -12 minus x. Remember, you cannot put these two together because they are not like terms. I'm going to divide both sides by -4. This cancels out. So I'm left with y equals, I have -12 divided by -4, it's +3. And in here, and one thing we may want to do on that one, and let me go back to it, give me 1 second. Okay, one thing I may want to do on this one, since that x is just there, it may be easier to add in that 1 there, so that way I know that that coefficient is 1 before that x. So that's going to turn into +1/4 x. So when I identify my slope, again, we know the slope is the coefficient or the number in front of x when we have it in slope-intercept form. So my slope for this one is 1/4, which is what we're looking for. So our options, our answer is going to be 1 and 2. All right. So this one here, you want to rewrite, and let me just read the question. Rewrite the following linear equation from point-slope form to slope-intercept form. So that means I want to take it from this to where we have y equals mx plus b. So we're going to be just solving for y. So some of you may need your line, some of you may not. But my first step, I'm going to distribute this 6 into both of those terms. So I have 6 times x, that's going to be 6x. I have 6 times 7, that's 42. Then I'm going to go ahead and bring down my left side. So from there, I'm going to add 3 to both sides. I'm going to have y equals 6x plus 45. Okay, and this is my answer. I know I'm done solving when I have this y by itself. So I'm done with that equation. It's in slope-intercept form, and I'm good to go. All right, number 5, they want me to graph y equals -1/4 x minus 4. So I see that this is in slope-intercept form. And the two things I know when I have slope-intercept form is the slope and y-intercept. So we know m is our slope, so -1/4 is going to be our slope. And b is going to be -4. Make sure if you have a subtraction sign, you consider that number to be -4 for your y-intercept. So I'm going to start at -4 on my y-axis. Then my slope is negative, so I'm going to go down 1 and over to the right 4. So down 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Down 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm going to get the rest of these points. So up 1, to the left 4, and I'm gonna keep going with that same pattern. Okay, and one thing I like to do is I like to put all the points that can fit, and I can do better with that line. I like to put all the points that can fit, so that way I can ensure that I'm plotting all my points on that graph and my graph is as accurate as possible. All right, word problems, our favorite. So it says you have a $30 gift card to Bahama Bucks. Each drink costs $2. Write an equation in slope-intercept form where D represents the number of drinks and R represents the remaining amount on the gift card. So basically, and one thing I like to do is think about what the problem means before I even start doing stuff related to math. So basically, we got a gift card to Bahama Bucks. If you've been, it's awesome. But we have a gift card that's $30. So I'm going to go ahead and circle that $30. That's what they're starting with. So I'm going to put that this is our starting point, our starting value. And we know that a starting value is also our y-intercept. Okay, so we can go ahead and just put that that's going to be B because, yeah, we're going to write that equation. And then it says each drink is $2. So anytime you see words like each, per, and everything like that, that number is going to represent your slope or your rate, okay, which we use M for that. Okay, they want the equation in or slope-intercept form, so I'm going to have y equals mx plus b. And here they told me two valuable pieces of information. D represents my number of drinks, and R represents the remaining amount. And I like to just write these out because I want to make sure that we get it right. So it won't hurt you to just write this out so you can process all the information that this word problem gave you. Okay. So one thing that makes it a little difficult is they use D and R, and we usually use X and Y. But all you have to think about is which one is your independent variable? Which one can you choose? I can choose the number of drinks that I buy. So I'm just going to put on the side that this is my X, just so I don't get confused. So D and X, they're the same thing. Those are both my independent variables. And then Y is going to be my R. So when I write out my equation, I'm going to put my starting value where my y-intercept is, and I'm going to put my slope where my m is. Okay, and as we said, our x is going to be D, and our y, we use green, our y is going to be R. Okay, so let's just process this out. Okay, we start with a $30 gift card. Okay, and I actually may write it the other way because I can have B plus MX. So I'm starting off with this $30 gift card. Okay, each drink that I buy costs $2. It's very important that you take account that that's going to be a negative slope because they're going to charge us for each drink. They're not going to pay us to drink Bahama Bucks. We got to pay them. So they're going to take $2 off of our gift card for each drink that we get. So I'm going to put 2D because it's 2 times the number of drinks. Then after that, that's going to represent the amount that's remaining on my card, which is R. So your equation is R equals 30 minus 2D. All right. Now this one here, it says find the rate of change or the slope. Those are the same things. So you know whenever you have a vertical line, that slope is always going to be undefined. Okay, that's something that you can remember. I know many teachers have different tricks. I know I think Miss Lackamew uses the U. I don't know if I'm doing it like how she does it, but that works out. I know with my class, I've taught Hoy Vux, which we know vertical lines have a undefined slope and X equals equation. So those go together. So whatever works for you, do that for this problem. Okay. You can also pick 2 points. Okay, and I can say, hey, this is -3 and 4. This is -3 and 1. I will have 4 minus 1 and 3 minus negative 3